What happens to your Social Security benefit if you retire at 55? This is a good video, man. I've done this about 2 years or so ago. It's a time to do it again because I got a lot of new people here, and I just was important to know. So let's dive into this, my friends. We're going to go straight to the horse's mouth, and this is the Social Security statement for benefit calculations for workers retiring in 2021. All right, so what they're doing here, I'm just going to go into this and explain the best I can. This is the third time I've done this video because I think I was relying too much on Social Security because I'm like, oh, this confuses me. So I have to figure it out because I'm a financial planning, a professional. So case A, you were born in 1959 and your sister was born in 1955. You both worked for at least 35 years. In fact, we have here 40 years for each of you guys. What Social Security does is they take the top 35 years of your indexed earnings. What indexed earnings is, the amount you made at a certain year before, they times it by what's called an indexing factor, which is based on the average wage index, and that gives us your indexed earnings. But remember, they only take your top 35. So in this case, we got case A, we'll just call him case A. Case A was born in 1959. He quits working in 2020. We take all these nominal years, we index them, and we have indexed earnings for each year. We take the top 35, we delete the bottom 5, and it gives us, we add them all together, and it gives us a total, highest 35-year total of indexed earnings of $1.894 million. We divide that by 420 because there's 35 years in the top 35 years, and we're trying to get the average index monthly earnings, and that gives us an AIME of 4,511. Now notice we go from 1.07, 1.03, 1, and 1 because once you hit 60 years old, you no longer get indexed earnings. It doesn't increase with average wage index. Now there's cost of living adjustments that kicks in instead. But you're not going to see that here because the COLAs are not part of your benefit calculation. And you can see this guy was born in 1955. His indexing numbers are a little bit less than his. Why? Because he has more years of working. He worked to begin. He had earlier time to begin working. And if we go down here, when he hits 60, it stops 1.1111. And he had 1.0715 when he was 58, 1.0348 when he was 59. But once you hit 60, there's no more indexed earnings. There's not. It just gives you a big fat 1. You times the nominal amount you made. This guy made $118,000 in 2015 by 1 because he's 60. And his earliest year of eligibility is 62. And as such, once you hit 60, they no longer give you indexed earnings. I cannot stress this enough. And so they take 118.5 times by 1. It gives them 118.5 for his indexed amount. Conversely, this guy who was born in 1959, he had $49,794 in nominal earnings. He has a smaller index. He has a small index, but still 12%. That gives him an indexed amount that year of $56,000. All right. So what we do is we take the top 35 years of all these guys. We get rid of the bottom 5. So again, if you have 50 years of working, doesn't matter. They're only going to take the top 35 years of indexed earnings. We add them all together. We divide by 420, and it gives your AIME of 9,979 for this guy because he made the max. All right, so this guy averaged in average dollars today about 55,000 or so. 58,000, 56. You can see. So he just made the average earnings over the course of essentially. I don't want to say the median amount, but he made. You can see he made $5,000 a month essentially in today's dollars, and $5,000 a month is the equivalent of. Let's see here. Right, $5,000 a month in today's dollars is the equivalent of $4,000 a month right here in 2000. $4,000 a month in 2014 is the equivalent of $5,000 a month now. $3,000 a month in 2004 is the equivalent of roughly $5,000 a month now. No, that makes sense. Now, so let's go to a spreadsheet here. This will be fun. All right, so we're just going to look at case B, this guy born in 1955. All right, so again, we're taking the top 35 years. So these years he made aren't included in Social Security. These 112, 112, 107, 103, and then this one right here, $111,000 because it's only the top 35. So we take the top 35 years, we add them together. After we index them, we add them together. He has a 4.19 million is his total index amount. Divide that by 420, and we have 9.9 or $9,979 is his AIME. To figure out his benefit amount, we go down here. Oops, let me just go here real quick. And he's got go here, this minus this, and his benefit amount is $3,942. Because the first bend point, you get 90% of the first bend point in dollars. So the first bend point stops at $0 to $996. You get 90% of that. The second bend point is $997 to $602. You get 32% of that. And in this case, any amount above $6,002, you get 15% of that. All right, so it's a very, I hate to say regressive, but it's progressive depending how you look at it. It's kind of counterintuitive. The more income you make, the less Social Security benefit you're going to get. So he's going to get $3,094. That's if he worked from 1981 until 2020. But let's say he stopped when he's 55. Again, he was born in 1955, so that means he stops in 2011 will be the last year of work. So I want to show you guys something. Let's see if I can. Well, I'll tell you. Here, let me just show it to you. So we're going to put goose eggs for all these right here. Let's see. All right, we're going to go goose eggs here. And we're going to hit enter. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sum all these guys up here. I should have done a sum. And we're going to sum. Boink. Do sum for me. Oops, hold on a second. Let's hit sum. Equals sum. Boink. There we go. We're going to sum all these guys up here. All right. So now he stopped working in 2011. And his AIME went from, was it 9,000? Well, we can look right here. $9,979, which we already showed his benefit was $3,084. But even though he worked no longer, he stopped working, 10 years ago. His benefit, his AIME only went to 8,320. 8,320. So his benefit fell from 3,084 to 2,846. So that's it. 3,084 minus 2,846. That's $238 a month. That's times that by 12. That's 2,856. That's less than 3,000 a year. 3,000 a year, and that's assuming that he never worked again. It doesn't really. We could do whatever we want. That's if he stopped at 55, which is I wanted to show you, because that would be when he's 55 years old. He was born in 1955. He worked until he's 55. At 2010, it was his last day on the job. He got nothing, goose eggs, and it didn't change his benefit hardly at all. I can't stress this enough how important this is. Now remember, just because you quit at 55, this is also at his full retirement age, by the way. The PIA is the amount you get at your full retirement age. This is your PIA. Let me put that in. PIA. Amount you get at FRA. And we'll just say this guy was 55, so it'll be 66.2. If you're born in 1960 or beyond, it's 67. What I'm saying is, if he took his benefit as FRA 66 and 2 months, if memory serves, he was going to get $2,846 for his monthly benefit from Social Security without working, from not working at all. Now let's see. What if he worked an extra, 1 year? We'll say, what if he made $100,000 that 1 year? Boink. Then what we got to do is we got to get rid of. Just put a 0 here. All right, so we made an extra $100,000. Oh, I should have done it over here. Hold on just a sec. There we go. Yeah, let's do this. Equals that times this. There we go. All right, if you made an extra, so if you made an extra 100, if you worked one extra year, made $106,000 in 2011, it would have added $119,000 to his overall wage. But it doesn't. Look, it went from what did he have before? We went to. Actually, just go back. I forgot what we had before. Let's go back. There we go. It went from 2,881 to 2,851. So the extra 1 year work gave him an extra $38. That's just a big fat nothing burger, man. That's crazy. I mean, so you can see right there. All right, so now we're going to say, okay, we're going to go, we'll say, what if we work an extra 4 years? Now what we got to do, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so right there, we can sum all these guys. So we'll sum all these guys up because we got to take the top 35. So we're going to sum all, oops, we still got to put that guy here. Hold on just a second. We're going to make this guy equals that times that, boink. So now he's got 9, so he worked an extra, what's that, till 2014. He worked 11, 12, 13, 14, an extra 4 years out of over 100,000 a year. He's like, man, I'm really adding to my Social Security benefit. Not really. Not really. About another $100 a month, 120. I mean, that's $1,500 a year for 4 extra years at the office. That doesn't make sense. You might be enjoying, if you're enjoying it, that's great. But if you're doing it just for Social Security, it does not make sense. Because you've already lost 5 years. If you work until you're 66, 67, 60, and you have more than 35 years, you've already lost 5 years. They only take your top 35. They only take your top 35. Unless, so in this, let me just go back. So in this case, this guy made $29,000 in 1981, which is the equivalent of $100,000, $103,000 today when you take an average wage index. So unless you're making some pretty buku bucks to take out one of your benefits, it doesn't make sense to keep working. And let's go over here. This guy made $12,878 in 1981, which indexing to $50,584 a day. So if you're only making $45,000, it's not going to add anything to your Social Security because they already got your top 35 years of earnings. If you're making $60,000, I hate to say it, but whoop-de-doo. $60,000 isn't going to add that much here. It's just not. It's not going to do that much. Now, I'm not saying quit your job. I'm just saying make sure you like it. It doesn't make sense to freaking work in a crappy old job thinking you're going to add to Social Security. It doesn't make sense. I talk about it in my book right here. I'll put a link in the show notes, and you should buy it because I told you what I say in this. Let me see if I can't find the chapter. Julie gets a huge raise. How will that affect her Social Security? I talk about that in here. How Julie's Social Security benefits calculate. I talk about it in here. You got to get this book. I think it's $10, maybe $5. I can't remember. It's Kindle Unlimited. It's free, but get the hard copy. I like the hard copy so you can see the charts and stuff. Hope this helps. I'd love to hear your comments, questions, concerns. This is huge. The best thing for liberty is to free yourself from the slavery that is your corporate freaking lackey job and do something you enjoy doing, man. Of course, the best way to do that is not have any debt. But Social Security is a big deal. It's not going away. They're not going to reduce it. But don't slave wages because like, I got to keep slaving away to save because or else my Social Security would be nil. I just proved it. It's not. All right, I'll put a link in the show notes. Love to hear your comments. Buy my book. Thanks now.